But if you don't know me, my name is Rose Smith. I've been a Beachbody coach for almost 5 years. It'll be my Beachbody anniversary in February for 5 years, so that's super exciting. But I didn't come into this being completely fit and healthy 5 years ago. I was kind of on the same struggle bus as all of you, just feeling really crappy about myself. Needed to lose a good 30 pounds. I started with Insanity, if any of you have ever heard of that. It was freaking insane, and I so wish I had the support and community back then, because I started it on my own. I got it from Amazon. I didn't have a coach at the time. I didn't have a challenge group. I didn't have all the awesome tools that we have now. But thankfully I stuck with it, and here I am today with this amazing team and being able to help all you lovely ladies. And I think we do have one guy in our group, which is pretty cool too. So tonight we're just going to kind of dive in and really go over what's going to get you started right with this whole 80-day obsession thing. Now, there's going to be a ton of information. Just pick what you need to get out of this, right? Like, you don't have to memorize or any of that stuff. Like, we'll be obviously talking throughout the 80 days in the group, asking tons of questions. But if you do have a question, there is a chat option on the bottom of your screen. If you're on a cell phone, just kind of like click stuff and you might find it. But at the end of this, we'll just open it up for any other questions that we may have missed. So what I'm going to go over first, there's going to be other leaders that are going to be speaking on this call tonight. But my favorite thing is always nutrition, right? Like, we can work out until we want to pass out, right? But that doesn't get us results. It's 80% nutrition that's going to get you guys results. And I used to be an athletic trainer, so I know that you can, you can't outwork bad nutrition. It just doesn't happen. So let me just share my screen with you really quickly. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, now, a lot of what I learned about nutrition was because of myself, because I have PCOS, which stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. I had IBS growing up as a kid. I had a lot of health issues, and I went to the doctors for a lot of that stuff, and they just give me, medication and pills and all that stuff. And it was pretty much just covering things up. It wasn't actually solving the root of the problem. So from all the research that I've done for myself, it really came down to one thing. So any disease or inflammation starts in the gut. So your stomach is where all of your good bacteria is. It's where your immune system is. So if that's being compromised, then everything else is kind of going to go out of whack. So if you have a migraine, what do doctors want to do? And I'm not knocking doctors. They definitely have their purpose in medicine. But they give you something for your head, right? Or if you have a skin condition, they give you something for your skin. Or if you have, a joint condition, they give you something for your joints. But it all starts in the gut. So I kind of like to go a little bit deeper, because when you have the knowledge about this stuff, it really starts to make sense, instead of just, eat healthy. No, knowing the reason behind it just gives you that little more like self-confidence of why you're kind of doing this. So your stomach lining is actually unicellular, meaning there's only one cell from your stomach lining to the outside world, aka like the rest of your body. So if your stomach your stomach lining, if that is inflamed, or that's being irritated by the crappy food that we have in America nowadays, I'm not saying that you eat crappy. I'm just saying that everybody, just how food is processed and how companies have just put chemicals in our food that we don't know what's actually in that stuff. That stuff is what actually causes what's called leaky gut. That is when that one layer cell actually gets damaged, and your food particles can actually leak into your bloodstream. And that's what causes a lot of conditions like autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis or migraines or psoriasis or IBS. So it doesn't always have to be a stomach issue. It's a systemic issue. So all of that stuff can affect any part of your body. And that comes from your genetics, right? So a lot of people will say like, oh, well, that doesn't give me a migraine, so it must not be that, or this or that. Our bodies are so different. We have to kind of look at this as a self thing. So like what might be good for me, like I don't do dairy very well. I don't do gluten very well. That doesn't work for me. It might work for you. Those are things you're going to have to kind of test out while you're going through this. But my whole point of saying this is once you can heal your guts, that's when you can heal all your issues. Because yes, we're all in this to get freaking awesome abs and a good booty and of course lose some weight, but that's not the whole part of this. We don't want to lose a ton of weight in 80 days and then after that be sick, unhealthy, have no energy. Like you want to feel amazing. You want to feel like you're on top of the world. And that comes from your health. So if we're able to heal our gut, then we can actually absorb the nutrition that we're getting. If we're just eating a bunch of healthy stuff, but it's going right through us and our stomach's not able to absorb it because it's a little bit damaged, then we're kind of fighting a losing battle. So I started drinking Shakeology actually after I did Insanity. And man, I wish I had it because I went through Insanity like almost passing out every single morning because my nutrition just was not there. But I did my research with Shakeology and I really highly suggest that you do your research on Shakeology too. Just don't take our word that like, oh, this shake is amazing and blah, blah, blah. Like I understand like being from like, if you're not a Beachbody coach, being from the outside world of things, it's kind of hard to understand that this is not a protein shake, that this is actually a nutrient-dense superfood nutrient shake that can really heal you from the inside out. So when I started researching Shakeology and really getting to know my own body and why your gut is something that is absolutely important to heal, especially if you have any illnesses or you have IBS or you get sick all the time, that is where it lies. So when I was doing my research on Shakeology, I found that they actually, besides the amazing superfoods, you guys can read. I'm not going to read off of this. It's all right there. But they use pre and probiotics in there. And there's one probiotic. I cannot pronounce it. It starts with a B and ends with the Illis. But it is one of those probiotics that you pretty much will not find in any other product because it's very expensive. Reason being is this one probiotic is actually encapsulated, meaning that it can go through your digestive system and not get broken down by your stomach acids. So it can actually make its way down the digestive tract and get into your stomach to heal. Whereas a lot of the other pre and probiotics, if you've ever seen those commercials for the yogurt, like drives me crazy because our milk in our country has to be pasteurized. So that means you have to heat the milk. What happens when you heat things? You kill the good bacteria. So all those like Yoplait or whatever yogurt, like good healthy for your stuff, it's a bunch of BS. I'm sorry to break the news to you, but there's no pre and probiotics in that stuff. Or very little that's actually survived the heating and then traveling to the grocery store and then traveling to your house and sitting in your fridge for a little bit. So with Shakeology, there's that one probiotic that starts with a B, ends with the Illis, that is very expensive, that really can help heal our gut. And everything else, obviously, in Shakeology is really for health, and absorbing that with the fiber and everything else just makes you not, you don't lose weight because of what's in Shakeology. You lose weight because you're getting the right nutrition. So my next little thing I'll kind of show you is the yo-yo diet cycle. And this is how I really kind of explain why Shakeology is so important. Is this is usually the typical cycle that people go through, right? They start a diet. When people start a diet, they reduce their calories and then they add exercise. So you're reducing your calories and then you're expending more energy through adding exercise. And then around the 10, 14 day mark, you are nutrient deficient because you're not getting enough calories. Now, the calories that you're getting, even if you're eating a very clean diet and you're eating organic and all that stuff, like I was saying before, our industry in America is very poor with our food. If you've ever watched like any documentaries on Netflix, like Food Incorporated or Fork Over Knives, there's really great stuff just to be knowledgeable about it. I'm a big dork with that, if you couldn't tell. But it really shows how the government and the farming industry are pretty much the same people. So whatever sells a buck, they'll just kind of pass it through because it's earning them money in their back pocket. But before I kind of go off on a tangent with that, a lot of our food, even though it might be organic or this or that, our soil is completely depleted. A lot of the things that are in our food don't have to be on labels. So there's a lot of hidden agendas behind this. If you've ever heard of the chemical called Roundup for weeds, well, guess what? It's called Monsanto. It's a big company. I don't like them, but Roundup is pretty much in every single food product. Even if it's organic, it's just in our soil. It's very hard to get away from that. So what does Roundup do? It kills weed. But if we're eating food where that stuff has been, it's getting into our systems, and they've tested this in our bloodstream, like there's Roundup in our bloodstream. So if it's killing plants, that's why a lot of people have autoimmune diseases now. That's why you're seeing a lot of, I'll probably get backlash for this, but autism and all those type of things is because you're really just slashing that stomach lining in half, because it's made to kill things. So when we're ingesting it, it's really affecting us. Okay, back to this. Day 10 to 14, you're nutrient deficient because you're reducing your calories, and the food isn't that great, even if you are eating really clean. And then what happens? You're like, holy crap, I need like a big juicy burger, or I want to eat that whole thing of ice cream, or I want to like dig into those bag of potato chips, because your body's saying, I'm hungry, I need something. And that's why you get those cravings, and you give in, and then you go, crap, I feel so bad about myself. Like, why do I always do this, right? Like all those thoughts go into your head, and then you're like, Monday, I'll start again. And that cycle keeps on going over and over and over. That's where Shakeology can come into play and really make a difference, not just by losing weight, but really make a difference in your life and how your body is absorbing and taking in that nutrition, because these foods are not from the United States. They're actually farmed from all around the world. And we have this one guy that legit goes to these different countries, makes sure they're farming it sustainably. They're not using any pesticides or anything like that. And then they're getting broken down the right way, so the nutrients is not zapped out of the actual superfoods. So when you're filling your meal plan and your diet with dense nutrition, you don't get that nutrient deficiency. So you don't get that signal to your brain day 10 to 14 saying, I'm hungry, or I'm craving salt, I'm craving sugars. All that stuff is really you're just nutrient deficient, and your body has no other way of sending a signal besides saying, I'm hungry, eat more. It's kind of like Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. It doesn't matter how many calories, right? It's not about calories. It's not always calories in, calories out. It's nutrition in and what you can absorb. So you can eat a bunch of Pringles, right? You could eat the whole damn thing. And guess what? You're still going to be hungry. Number one, a lot of calories. Number two, there's a crap load of chemicals in there that's making your body send that signal to your brain even more. So you eat more and more of the same stuff. But that's where calories, it doesn't matter. Your body's still hungry for the right nutrients. If you're not getting it, that's when you're going to start all those cravings. So that is my little thing about Shakeology and why it's so important, and why I've been drinking it for 5.5 years later, or 5 years later. I don't have IBS anymore. I pretty much have healed my PCOS. Yay! So I'm going to stop talking for now. I've been talking for 15 minutes. And we have the next leader. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And we have the next leader coming up. I believe it's Jessica. Jessica, I don't see you right now. Or it might be Lisa. Lisa, okay. Lisa, unmute yourself and rock and roll.
You're good. Hi, guys. How are you? All right. There's so many people on here, and so many people that are not on video that are afraid to show their face. But as coaches, we got over that. We all started the same way. So my original plan was to show you guys how I make my shake every day. But I have 2 sick kids right now, one that just went to bed. So I'm like hiding in the basement right now so that nobody hears me or bothers me. So you're going to find that I feel like whatever flavor I am making of Shakeology, I'm using a different amount of water, because some of the flavors I'll use more water because it makes less or it makes more. So you really need to find, when you're making your shake, what is best for you. So I'll always start with ice cubes. So I personally, this is how I make mine. And we'll start a thread in the group where you guys can post how you are making yours and like what's your favorite. So I'll start with ice cubes, like 6 ice cubes. I make mine every single morning. Sometimes I'll have 2 if it's like crazy at night and there's no time for like a nutritious dinner. I'll make sure that I get that in. So ice cubes, then I do it with just water. And if you're going to use almond milk in your shake, I would suggest that when you start, that you just use a little bit of it, because sometimes people say that, oh, the shake does this to me or makes me feel this way, when a lot of times it's really what you're adding to it that's actually bothering you. So a little bit of, almond milk, coconut milk, unsweetened, everything. And I do vegan cafe latte is like my favorite. It tastes kind of like, not so much like a coffee, but more like a birthday cake kind of birthday cake ice cream it tastes like to me. So I love it. And I do a half of a banana in mine, and then I freeze the other half for the next day. So even my bananas, when I buy them and they look like they're starting to go bad, I'll cut them all up and put all of them in the freezer and then have them there. At work, I have like 4 trays of ice cubes. I make my shakes at work. 4 things in the freezer, and then I have like 25 bananas in the freezer at work. So it depends on how you guys want to do it. A really, really good one, if anybody has chocolate and you like Thin Mints, like this is an awesome recipe, is just chocolate Shakeology with water, ice cubes, and like a drop of mint extract, because you could add extracts to your shakes. And I swear it tastes just like a Thin Mint Girl Scout cookie. So there's like really great recipes that you guys can look up or ask us for whatever flavor you have. Chocolate is like really good too with just banana, water, and peanut butter. So I used to do mine at first with almond milk and then tried it with water instead. And to me, it tasted the same. So I was like, why am I wasting this almond milk when I could be like drinking that or using it somewhere else? I'll just use water. So try it out and see what you guys think. But like I said, you're going to see that whatever flavor that you have and whatever your taste is going to be different from somebody else's. So, okay, that's how we make the shake. And if anybody has questions, I know Rose just put in the chat box. You can, right at the bottom of the screen, it says chat, and you probably saw it lighting up. Just put it right in there. And it does, when people tell me that they don't like the taste, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like they're lying. So I don't know. Hopefully you guys will like it and I will not call you out on being a liar, because I just think it tastes so freaking good that when somebody tells me that they don't like it, I'm like, I don't understand. Okay. What I really want to talk to you guys about is your before and after pictures and measurements. We all need to take our before pictures before we start. I know that it sounds like scary and nobody wants to do it, but it's something that you need to do. You are not going to step on the scale and notice a big change as much as you will in your measurements and your photos that you take. So I'll be honest with you, I've been doing a little obsessed and following the meal plan with hardly any cheats at all for 2 weeks. And I stepped on the scale today and I think I lost like 1 pound or something. So that's the point where people would be like, oh, you know what, this isn't working. But obviously with this program, if anybody's doing a little obsessed, you're noticing that like you're going to be building muscle like in places where like my butt feels so good right now. Like I love feeling it all day long. So muscle obviously weighs more than fat. So you need to factor that in. But your pictures and your measurements is what is going to really tell the difference and where you're really going to see the results when you don't see them on the scale. And I tell people this all the time, like the scale is just a number that you know. You're the only person, unless you tell somebody, the only person that knows how much you weigh. So why are we always so freaking concerned about what that number says? And I don't know why, because I am too. I really don't know why. But if your clothes are fitting better and you're starting to feel better, do not worry about anything that number has on that scale. Like put it away, use it. Like the Beachbody rule is like every like 2 weeks, use it and then see the difference. So do not do it daily. I promise you will not like it. All right. So take your before pictures. When you take them, try to have like this background right now that I have here is like too busy. You want to try to have them on like a wall that has like nothing, like a white wall or something that's not too busy in the background. Make sure that your pictures are clear. Like even the like lighting that I'm in right now is not so great. You could put a light in front of you, like one of those stand-up lights, whatever you have, or just make sure that you have good lighting, that it's not too dark or too bright, because the reason why you want to have a good before picture is that when you enter your after pictures, you have a chance to win like a crazy amount of money in cash prizes from Beachbody. And I won $500 for submitting my before and afters. And I thought I acted like I won like $5 million the day that I found out, because it's so friggin' exciting. So you send in your before and your after pictures at the end. You'll go to beachbodychallenge.com, and we'll talk about this at the end. I'm just letting you guys know now. That's where you'll go to submit them. And we also get a free gift for every single program that we finish at the end when we're done with the program. You get a free gift. Like usually it's a t-shirt or, they have all different kinds of things. But I have like 5 different t-shirts for 5 programs that I finished. So any program that you ever finish with Beachbody, enter your results and you get something free that they send you in the mail. So when you're taking your measurements, I just wrote this down right here. Be consistent in where you're taking them. Like I'll write down when I take them, like over sports bra or like, wherever, so that they're the same. And every time I'm taking my measurements, and even the pants that I wore, I wrote down, because some pants that you wear, like they go up and they cover all the fat rolls, and some pants that you wear don't. So I want to make sure that I'm wearing the same one so I don't get like cheated in measurements, like either way. When you're measuring your arms, and I put a video in our group page in the file section. So you could watch that video. It's only 3 minutes from Beachbody that tells you. I have to watch it every single time I take my measurements because I'm a little slow and I mess up and forget where to take them. But when you're doing your arm, you're going to take it at the biggest part of your bicep. And if you don't have like a spot that you can tell yet, you're going to go from your shoulder to your elbow right in the middle there. And you're going to take your measurement there. When you're taking your chest measurements, right here, right across for some reason, I cannot say that word, right across the center here. When you're taking, I'm like a grown woman with children and I can't say the word NIPPLES. Okay. When you're taking your thigh measurements, so it's going to be like, again, like the biggest part of your thigh, between your inseam and your knee. When you're taking your calves, biggest part of your calf, it's like basically kind of in the middle. The hips is like the widest part of your butt, and make sure that your legs are together. And it's like the biggest part of your butt is where you'll take your hips measurement. And I think that's all of them. But again, like I said, you can just check it out. It's called How to Take Before and After Measurements. The video is in there. Just click it and it's 3 minutes and it'll tell you guys exactly how to do it. So make sure that your before pictures are good. Like don't be afraid to take them because you can win money, like hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. They have all different kinds of prizes. And I'm not the only one from our team that has won it also. Nipples. See, now I could say it. Just checking if you guys have any questions over here.
Hey, Lise, do you mind if I show your picture that you sent in? That one?
All right. So this is how hard it is taking these pictures. Okay. Like, yeah, go ahead. OMG. I can't even look at it. So yeah, that's the picture and that I hated taking. But if you guys see in A Little Obsessed and you see the people, I am on the wall in the background, which is so cool. I'm like right smack in the middle of all the pictures there. And you could see this picture featured there. I'm like, the worst picture I've ever taken in my entire life has been featured on everybody in Beachbody's website, webpage, and everything. So great. But anyway, see, there's 2 good results. So take your before pictures and next person, go.
Okay, am I up? All right. So, hi guys. If you don't know me, I'm Jess. I am one of the coaches on our team. I know I have, I think, about 15 to 18 people in this group that I personally brought in, and I am pumped. I've been pumped about this program since they announced it. And the main reason why is because this is truly, Rose talked about the nutrition, but this is truly not only a physical change that you're going to endure, but a mental change as well. You're going to end these 80 days stronger, more committed, more confident, feeling. Big one for me this year is feeling sexier. Just for myself, who cares about my husband? I just want to feel sexy. Screw him. But there's certain things that you want to really. Leia's going to talk about mindset, but really prepare yourself for mentally, the ups and downs and the all arounds. So some of the things that are going to help you succeed and come out on top, feeling sexier, feeling more confident, and just feeling really good about yourself in that you've completed this program is by being prepared. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can be best prepared for this program. And please ask questions. This is where I think this is kind of like somehow Rose gave me like the meat of the system here. So I am still learning myself. I've been reading in and out as much as I possibly can today over the materials, and I've been watching video after video from Autumn and from coaches who have been through the test group. So I'm trying to bring all of that information to you. So, thanks, Rose. First of all, these things. Thumbs up if you recognize these. Let me see it. That's the teacher in me. Come on, guys. Let me see those thumbs up. All right. These are your containers. These are your lifeline, because not only is this program about challenging your body physically through the workouts and different muscle groups and changing it up, and this program focuses so much on nutrition. And hopefully you already know that. Hopefully you already know that this program is following a timed nutrition. So my first tip about the containers is use them. Let me repeat. My first tip about the containers is use them. As a coach, I've been doing this for 4 years, and something that I found that I began doing was I assumed I kind of knew what was inside of them. And I would say, yeah, this looks about like a green or two, but if you actually measure it, sometimes you're putting in 3 yellows when you need only 1. And believe it or not, guys, even though you're eating healthy foods, it's possible to eat too much of a good thing. We're very fortunate with this program that they have really taken the guesswork out of a lot of problems that people came across when they were trying to do the 21-day fix. So with this program, what you've gotten, and you should have already printed this out. How many of you have printed out your plan? Thumbs up if you've printed out your plan. Okay. So when you go through your plan, and if you haven't yet, we've talked about it a couple of times, but the way that you can find this information is if you go into your on-demand, log in, and go to 80-Day Obsession Program Materials, you can see there's a whole gamut. Rose did a video on it, a bunch of information and materials for you to use. You can find your, if you do, I don't know where it is exactly, and I need to get a binder. That is not the teacher in me. But if you check out, here it is. There's a starter guide. So in that starter guide, it's going to walk you through finding which plan you are following. So I happen to be following the vegan plan, so I printed out vegan plan A. I also printed out vegan plan B for myself because I have a feeling I might be bumping up, even though I fell into the A category. So I'm going to play around with that for myself. But what that means, bumping up, it doesn't mean that then I go out and have a burger, okay? What you're doing is once you find your plan, you're going to see this page, okay? And you see all of these pretty little colors because I had mine printed at Staples, which you can do, because I ran out of ink and I wanted it as soon as possible. But you can see the containers here. And above it, it breaks it down and tells you exactly how many of each containers you have in a day. Now, how many of you have done the 21-day fix? Okay, that's where the 21-day fix stopped. It tells you how many containers you have in a day. You had the option to mix and match, and some people would be guilty I was guilty myself of saving all of my yellows because I wanted 3 glasses of wine on a Friday night. Okay, you can't do that here. So I'm going to explain to you how you can break this down and really understand the container system. So each of them are color-coded for you. It's very easy to follow. In the beginning, yes, it can seem kind of overwhelming, but they've taken it a step further, and not only do they tell you how many of each containers you can get, but now they're telling you when, okay? So the container system is truly important because you, number one, need to actually put your food in it, and then you can mix it with what you're doing. Okay, so what you're gonna look at is here it tells you your workout block, so what you need to eat for your pre-workout, then you work out and you have your energized, your pre-workout, and I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. And then you're drinking your hydrate, and then your post-workout meal. Okay, so this is, again, yours may look different because mine is from the vegan plan, plan A, but before I work out, I can have 1 green, 1 red, and 1 yellow B. Now, if you're looking at me and going, did you speak in German? I didn't. Let me explain, okay? So, you also, in your packet, get a food list, okay? Rose posted 2 images. One is the vegan food list and one is the regular food list, okay? In each one, it explains to you what goes in each container. So if I tell you that in the morning before I work out, my pre-workout meal happens to be 1 green, okay, I can look at my greens and I can say, all right, what do I want to have? Okay, now here's the thing. You don't have to go shoving your asparagus stalks into your green container. I tried it at first. It breaks them apart. It really doesn't look pretty on your plate when you take a picture to share with the group. So all you have to do is look at your list and it says asparagus, 10 large spears. Okay, so it gives you a little cheat guide. A lot of you are confused about spinach. It says cooked or raw. Your choice. If you want to try and stuff it in to your green container, go ahead. But you know, there's different measurements for you to follow too for those really hard to fit into the container kind of items. All right, I also had someone ask me yesterday, I guess it was, they thought that they could only put 1 item into a container. So if you're making a salad for lunch and you want to use 2 greens for your salad or for your meal 2 or whatever it's being called, you can do 1 full green of lettuce and then you can do another green of your veggies, of your cucumbers, of your peppers, of your sprouts, of whatever it is that you're putting into your salad. So if you also want to do a serving of fruit, for example, one of my meals happens to be a red, it's my post-workout snack. It's a red and a purple. So if I want to do just a purple full of blueberries and strawberries, I can fill it with both. So that still counts as 1 purple. Does that make sense? Everyone seem good? Okay. So you can combine them, but my biggest suggestion to you is do not all of a sudden try to become a gourmet chef, okay? This is not the time. Maybe by week 6, you know, you've got these down pat and you know exactly what you want to put in each container and you can mix and match. I would start simple. Keep it very simple. And something that you should know too is the lists are created in a way to give you the most beneficial foods first on the list. If you're picking from green category and you're trying to figure out what vegetable you want, try and start at the top. The other thing that was recommended too is go through each list because I'm not going to eat everything on this vegan list. I'm going to go through and I'm going to highlight some of the ones I know that are staples that I can always count on and that I can always go back and say, I need a purple, crap, what do I want? Oh, let me just grab some berries. Okay, I know it's approved. Or I need a blue, avocado, top of my list. So if that just helps you to feel a little bit more confident about going in with these containers, just know that it's broken down for you in a way that you can really easily fill them up. So that's the first part, okay, that I was talking about. All right, so the container system, again, my most important tip is use the containers. Sounds very, redundant to keep saying, but use the containers. They're a size that they are for a reason. Don't add more on top and pile it up because that's not using the container the correct way. It's so you can fill it to a point where you can put a lid on it. Okay? So for those people who are like, I'm just going to put my pasta up here. No, it doesn't work. Okay? So you should have all different kinds. I'll just go through really quickly. Red is your protein list. Okay? The orange are your nuts and seeds and dressings. Your purples are your fruit. Greens are your veggies. I have them all with me. Be a miracle. I'm missing one. My yellows are my carbs. If you're following the vegan plan, there is an A and a B. We can talk about that. And then the blue, I don't have my blue. Well, it's your healthy fats and your nut, like butters and things like that. Okay, so that's the container system in a very fast breakdown kind of way. Again, each of us have a different allotted amount to follow, so you will base your day on that. Then you will also follow, where is it? Oh, I got to get organized. Okay, they give you a timed nutrition example. So this example seems to have an early morning workout because here's your pre-workout, then your energize, and then your post-workout snack, okay, or meal. The one thing I can suggest is taking a look in the rest of your meal plan. They give you different options, a couple different schedules with a morning workout, an afternoon, like midday workout, and then an evening workout. One thing that I have heard over and over again asked in other groups and in some of the videos and discussions was, can I swap containers? So someone asked, like, I don't want to have that red at that time. Can I put it somewhere else? The answer to that is, if you are following this program, the answer is no. That wouldn't be following the timed nutrition. What they've done for us, they've taken all of the science and the guesswork out of this program for us to be able to just say, I need a red and a green, okay? What the scientific reason for that combination is so that you get certain micronutrients and macronutrients that help provide your body with the proper energy based on where your workout is in your day. Loaded question, loaded answer. So the long story is, or short story is, don't switch the containers. Follow the system that has been provided for you and follow the schedule based on where your workout is. So they've suggested to figure out, the first thing you need to do is figure out when your workout is happening and move and allot your schedule to be around that with the container system. So with that said, the next topic I wanted to talk to you about was meal planning. So I've started something. Let me see if I can share my screen. And I will share this with you when it's a finished product. It's not there yet. Ev did not give me very much time to work on it today. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, where is it? So this is the start of my personal meal plan, just so you can kind of see. So I'm just breaking it down Monday through Sunday. I'm doing my workout personally. For me, it works better in the morning. So I have here my color codes, and I will start filling in what food combinations I'm going to be doing. For me personally, in the beginning of programs like this, I keep it super simple, and I don't mind repeating foods. So I might even do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the same meal. Tuesday, Thursday, have a different meal on Saturday. Sundays are going to be a different day, and they do show you that for a rest day. So that day is a little bit different because you're not taking your energize and your recover, because you don't have a workout. Sundays are our off day. So the other thing that I'm going to start doing, you can see how far I got. Everything's still copy and pasted. Ev really gave me a run for my money today, but I will have more done hopefully by the next day or two so I can share this with you. But this is how I'm personally organizing myself. And as much as it seems time intensive, honestly, it is worth it for you to do at least for the first few weeks when you are acclimating yourself and adjusting to this new schedule and this new regimen of when you're eating, what you're eating. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm doing to plan my meal. Some other ones have been shared if you do not know where to find them. If you go to our page, Let's Get Obsessed, and you go to the photos section. Yeah, let me X out. then you can go to our albums, and I've already started to put in some sample meal plans. So here you can find one person shared this plan. I don't know exactly what it is. It looks like plan A to me, but I have to look exactly at what it is. So they did the same kind of thing where they've color-coded the system. They've put times in as to when they're eating them and when they're working out. Here's your energize, work out and hydrate and recover. So she's working out midday. So if you're a midday worker-outer, then this one might be for you. Okay, so a few other ones that were shared. It doesn't tell me what meal plan they are, but we can find out. So here's someone who's starting their day at 5:10 a.m. So if that is something that you have to do because you need to work out by, looks like 6 a.m. for them, then this might be a schedule for you to go off of. And the last one, plan A, so it already tells us, here's someone starting their day also at 5:30 a.m. Here's their meal 1, it looks like, and then 8:30. Their timing's a little funky, but you have to play with it. So their workout doesn't happen until midday. So these are just a few examples that have already been provided. And then if you look here, so also if you make one, put it here so that everyone can kind of look around and label it. What plan are you? What are you following? If you click on this link, it will take you to a resource that someone shared with us. It's a Google resource you can look up. And there are some example meal plans for plan A, B, C, and E has also been added. Unfortunately, they have not added any vegan meal plans yet. So I'm waiting anxiously for some suggestions on that. So it looks like they're adding extras in. So that wasn't here yesterday, so maybe they'll be adding more to this resource. So if you click on it, you can open it right up and see quite a few examples of each plan. Okay? This again, don't look at someone's schedule and say, oh, that's it. That's the one I'm taking. This is to give you ideas. This is to give you some inspiration for different meal combinations. But what you need to do is figure out and write down and log exactly what is going to work for you and your schedule and your likenesses of meals. Okay, so those are just a few things that I wanted to recommend. And then what you can do is, based off of that, go food shopping. Make your food list and go grocery shopping. So that takes me right into meal prepping. There's a few different ways to prep for the week. If you are someone who works out of the home full time, you're going to really want to prep. It's possible to eat out while you're doing this program, but the thing that I highly recommend is plan and be prepared to bring your food. You're going to the food store, you might stop at a friend's house, you should have 2 meals packed for you, just in case in the beginning. So that way there's no question. When you plan ahead and you plan to succeed, you will succeed, but you have to be prepared, okay? I would be doing half of my work if I just made this meal plan and didn't do anything to help support myself follow through with it, okay? I'm putting in all this work. You've invested in this program for a reason. Right? We're all here for a reason. You know, take a little time out of your weekend, this weekend. Take a little time tonight after the call or over the next few days. Make your schedule, make your meal plan, shop for those foods, and start to prepare ahead of time. Some things that I do, because I work from home, so I have the ability to kind of put things together. I make a bunch of different components. So I'll have my spinach in there. I'll already roast my sweet potatoes already cooked in a container so that I can kind of pick and combine. Some people may need to prep and they need to have Monday's lunch, Tuesday's lunch, Wednesday's lunch. So what you have to do is really figure out what's going to be best in preparing you based on your schedule and the demands of your life. If you're running kids to 3 or 4 different practices at night, then you need to buy yourself a fancy cooler, make that your 80-day gift to yourself and get one of those 6-pack coolers and pack your meals for the night. The key to succeeding is being prepared, okay? So the last thing, well, hold on, you're talking to me. What do you
Leah has to jump off at 9, so can you do
She can hop off. Yeah, I'll talk about Performance Line after.
Awesome.
I can talk about this stuff.
Right? Leah, you're up.
Awesome. So hi, everybody. So what I wanted to, and it's a good segue from what Jess was just talking about with being prepared, is I wanted to talk a little bit tonight about mindset. So if you are a coach or you've been in the groups in the past for any one of our coaches groups, you kind of know what that means. But let me just kind of break it down in layman's terms. If this is something that's new to you, mindset means the way that you are thinking about something, the way that your perspective, and I'm just putting this in my own definition, your perspective on how you perceive things, on how you react, on how you focus, and then ultimately the outcome of your actions, right? And the reason this is super, super important is because a lot of people, start, and I'm not saying a lot of people start with a program or start with other programs or things that you've done in the past, and you look at what you're doing as a diet, or you look at what you're doing as if it's something that you can't eat or what you're not going to be able to have, right? So you're focusing on the negative, you're focusing on the things that you are not, that are being taken away from you. And I know for sure that when I started, that was absolutely what I was focusing on, because I thought I was never going to be able to have pizza again, or wine, or ice cream. And I honestly was like really, really excited, but terrified that I was never going to be able to eat that again. So first of all, that's not true, right? But what I've learned in my own journey and what I now help with my own clients and coaches is that the way that you approach starting this is really key, right? So instead of, let me just actually step back a minute and give you an example, okay? And why the way that what you focus on is important. Have any of you ever bought a new car, and maybe it was, like a car that wasn't really common, and you got that new car, and then you brought it home, and then all of a sudden you started to drive it around, and you realize like everybody else has the same car as you? Or maybe it's like, that cool Coach bag, and then all of a sudden you realize everybody else has this cool new Coach bag that you have. I don't know, I've had both of those experiences before. And the reason that that happens is because you weren't in the past focusing on that car, which maybe, like it is already a common car and you see it everywhere. And it's probably not the reality if, let's say, you get a black cute Coach bag for Christmas, that's the new model, that you're the only one that got it. There's probably already people that have had it, right? So the reason that you observe these things is because you are focusing on them. And when you focus on them, your mind kind of gets into tunnel vision and you start seeing those things everywhere, right? So what is that? How does that relate to you and starting 80-Day Obsession? Well, it's important because what you want to focus on is the outcome that you want to achieve, right? So we want to focus on the fact that we're making long-term healthy lifestyle changes. We want to focus on the fact that we are feeding our body with solid, clean, food. We're giving our our body nutrients. We're giving our body things that are going to give us energy, that it's going to help our digestion, that's going to give us the ability to push through our workouts to get us amazing results, right? We're not instead on a diet. We're not depriving ourselves of things that we maybe had in the past. We're making better choices, right? And that's really, really important to focus on what you want to achieve and the way that you want to feel. And that's another thing, is focusing on the way that you want to feel. What I always like to do before I start a program is write out some goals for myself. And I'm not going to go into this a lot, but write out some goals. But I always make sure that those include feelings, right? Like how I want to feel when I've achieved this goal, or how I want to feel about eating healthy. eating, nutrition is majority of it mental. It's the way that we have associated food with comfort in the past. If you are an emotional eater, whether that means binging on food or not eating food or just eating for comfort, because I am, I learned a lot that comes from childhood. It comes from things that I've done in the past, right? Like I love ice cream. I know Rose does too, but I do. Why? Because every time we went to the doctor and every time we went to the dentist afterwards where there was a negative experience, we went to get ice cream. Whenever it was really hot out in the summers, which were like the best times as a kid, we always had ice cream, right? So ice cream was associated to pleasure for me as a kid. And so it's a comfort, right? Like we go to food for many different reasons, right? But you can change that perspective. You can learn, if you're focusing on the fact that food is now nourishing your body, you can learn to enjoy that. You can create new habits. You can create new desires. And that all starts with your perspective and your mindset as you go into this journey, for sure. I wanted to recommend that, and I always mention this to my clients. If you're a coach in our team, and you guys are going to hear us share a lot some of the things that we've done through our business and what we do to help our coaches, because it's stuff that has helped us not just from a business perspective, but from an emotional, mental level. And one of those things is reading or listening to what we call personal development. Okay. I know that when I started my journey and someone told me now I need to read a book, or it was a good idea for you to grow, I was like, you're effing kidding me. I'm not going to have any time to read a book. So, I listen to a lot of books on audio, and there's 3 that I wanted to recommend for you guys because they are really helpful in 3 different aspects to getting you thinking about the way that you think about yourself, the way that you think about your body, the way that you think about food, the way that you think about the way that you care about yourself, the way that you love yourself, the way that you think about a lot of different things, whether they're positive or negative, and how you approach that can truly make such a difference in your life besides just your own fitness journey. And when you start to change those thoughts and behaviors, they're obviously going to accelerate every aspect of your life, including your fitness journey. So 3 of the books that I wanted to recommend, the first one is this book. It's called I'm That Girl. It is by Alexis Jones. It's called How to Speak Your Truth, Discover Your Purpose, and Be That Girl. This book is a good book if you, let's say, you've set a lot of goals for yourself. You've made a lot of promises. You've said you're going to start on Monday, and like time comes and goes, and you don't commit to yourself, right? You are not living up to what you want in your life. This is a great book for that. Another book is called Made to Crave. And let me get the author's name. Does anybody know it? Here, I have it in here. Made to Crave is by, I don't know how to say her name, Lysa, Lysa Terkeurst, Terkeurst. This book is called Satisfying Your Deepest Desire with God, Not Food. So this is a really good book too, which talks more about kind of cravings and how cravings, like the way that we have cravings and how they kind of come from a relationship with God, but that they've been misplaced with society and pressures and everything else through food and a lot of other stuff. So if you're someone that's emotional eater, or you like to read anything that's spiritual, it's not necessarily religious, but it's spiritual and based on God. That's a really good book. And then the last book is called You Are a Badass, and that is by Jen Sincero. And that book is called Satisfying, How to Stop Doubting. I can't see the cover screen now. I don't know, something about, anyway, it's a really good book. It's a little bit raw. Got curses in it. She's super funky. That is a really good listen. And it's really kind of uplifting and really kind of like rah to like help you change the way that you're thinking and kind of live to the fullest. So I've listened to You Are the Badass, Made to Crave. I've listened to both of those. I didn't listen to I Am That Girl. I don't think this one's on Audible. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's why I got this book, because it wasn't on Audible. But those are some really great choices. If anybody wants, there's some other recommendations I can put that are more about nutrition too, that if you guys want to read anything about that aren't like super nutrition, but more about like superfoods and how the foods help your body. I'm sure that Rose has some recommendations. But we can put a file definitely in the group, because reading and listening to books that really help change your perspective, for me, have personally changed my entire life. And I know that when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to food, when it comes to working out, right, we make decisions to whether we're going to do it or not. And a lot of that comes to whether we are focused on the right things, right? If we're in a bad mood, if we don't feel good, if we are looking at it negatively, we're going to probably be more likely to not stick to the meal plan, to skip a workout, or not do what we want to do and accomplish our goals. If we instead are focused on feeling really good and knowing that regardless of how we feel, at the end of the day, at the end of the workout, we're going to feel so amazing. We know that the outcome is going to help us. It's going to push us and motivate us. So that's my little spiel on mindset and what you focus on and how that affects the way that you think and you feel. If anybody wants to chat about that anymore, hit me up, because I love talking about that stuff. So
sweet.
That's it.
Thanks, Leah. I know you had gotta hop off, but thanks.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Tracy, where's our Southern girl? Are you still here?
Sorry, I was on mute. You couldn't hear me.
You're good now.
So I am here, loud and Southern, right here for you. So I know Jessica talked a lot about meal planning and following the workout block, and I'm going to talk about how important it is to know when you're actually going to be doing your workout. And to me, I feel like scheduling your workout time is going to be the most important part of everything, because if you don't know what time you're going to work out, you don't know what you're going to eat, when you're going to have your time nutrition block. So that is key to me when I'm looking at this. I know we have in your materials, it came with a calendar, and something I've done, if you notice, I know everybody has one of these, it tells you exactly how long every workout is. So for me, being a teacher and a mom, I'm super busy. So my workout is not something I can say, oh, I'm going to do it after work. You have to know what time you're going to be doing your workout. You have to know, are you going to do it at 5 o'clock in the morning? Are you going to do it at 4 o'clock in the morning? So when I look at my schedule, I know Monday nights I have karate till 9 o'clock at night. It's not going to be possible for me to work all day, come home and do a workout. So I'm going to have to schedule that workout for the morning. I know Tuesday night's gymnastics, same thing. That's going to have to be a morning workout. Wednesday and Thursday, I'm going to schedule it for the afternoon. And then I think, it's good to have some carbs at dinner as well. So with your workout block, you could also change up your nutrition plan as well if you're working in the morning or at night. And something I've done as well, I have a calendar, and I've taken the times and I put it in my calendar for like Monday's a 60-minute workout, Wednesday's a 40-minute workout. So that way I can look ahead. So think of your workouts as a doctor's appointment. Schedule your workout in so you'll know what your nutrition is going to be like for that day. This is my workout. It's just like an appointment. I have to keep it. So definitely get you a planner. Know what you're doing that week so you know what time you're going to work out. And that's pretty much all I've got about workout calendar. It really fits in with your time nutrition though. So you have to plan to get your workout in. You have to write it down and know what time you're going to work out. Because if you don't know that, then you're not going to be able to plan your nutrition. And this is something you're going to have to prep in advance, is your nutrition.
Thanks, Tracy. Tracy, we should have given you something longer to talk about since we love hearing your voice. Jess, do you want to hop on one last time for the recover?
Sure, but I am not nearly as fun to listen to with my quick New Jersey talking. I've talked way too fast. So I did want to say to Tracy's point, you can find also the same calendar. If you didn't have it readily available for yourself, you can find it right in the program materials as well, where you find your nutrition plan. So it's the same thing. They have day 1, day 2. It tells you what workout. It tells you even the breakdown, 2 sets of 15 reps. It's 60 minutes. It tells you exactly what tools you need as well. So there's that. So I wanted to quickly talk about the performance line. So a lot of people, when I was talking to them about this program, were saying, okay, well, all right, so the Shakeology, it's a non-negotiable for me. That is something I've had every day for 4 years and 4.5 years of my life, and it has drastically changed everything for me. But the other piece that has been somewhat newer is the performance line. And what this is this is a performance-based program. It's right in the title of the supplements. It's for performance. It's to enhance your performance, and it's to give you the ability to really work at an optimal level. Some very scientific people developed these programs and products, and they are aligned for a reason. And while they are optional, I want to make sure that you kind of know a little bit about each of the additional supplements that have been recommended now with these programs, because this program is what they've been saying is you're training like an athlete. And certain things that people who have never worked out with an intensive program may not realize is that your muscles are doing things that your muscles have never had to do before. They are being broken down so that they can be rebuilt back up to a stronger, more toned, and that's really how it starts to happen. That's kind of like those dummy books, like that's working out for dummies in my mind. It's just really breaking down your muscles so that it can be rebuilt. And what starts to happen in that is a very scientific, chemically driven process. And what you're going to feel is you are going to feel soreness. You are going to feel muscles that you never knew existed. And you're going to, it's going to hurt so good. And that's the thing you have to remind yourself. It's going to hurt so good. The next day when you go to sit down on the toilet for your morning pee, because we all know we do it, nobody, I'm not embarrassed to talk about it. You're going to feel it. You're going to need a support, and you're going to have to get down there. Men, fortunately for them, you know the drill. But here's the thing. What you can do is you can provide your muscles and you can provide your body with certain things that are going to help you with, first of all, muscle recovery and preventing muscle soreness. You are still going to be sore, even if you take these additional supplements. But what it's doing is, as your muscles are breaking down, certain things are needed to be given back to your body within a certain time frame of working out, so that it's replenishing your body with certain things like amino acids. It's replacing the glycogen word of the night, glycogen back into your muscles as well. So the glycogen is a source that usually comes from white carbs or fruits, the sugars in fruits. So that's part of the recovery that's going back into your system. So that's what's helping prevent that additional muscle soreness so that you can do your next workout. So the problem is that for people who aren't providing, you are providing optimal nutrition if you're following this plan. But what you can do in addition to that is provide your muscles with optimal nutrients, minerals, acids, proteins, things that are going to help just give you that extra little boost to get through the next day's workout. Because this is an intensive program. The workouts are much longer than everybody's been used to doing. They're challenging different muscle groups that they've never been challenged before. Today I heard Christina Delgado, who's one of the people who spoke in that video I posted in the group page, say she never realized she had a muscle like right above her hip, like right there, because all of a sudden that muscle is being worked. And it's so that you can shape your body in a different way. We're all here because we want a better booty. Yes, let me see the hands. We want a cuppable booty, right? For whoever's grabbing it, we want it to be cupped. So that's what's going to happen in this program. Then, sorry if I'm embarrassing anyone. These are the things you should know going into this program. You're going to get a cuppable booty, and you're going to work muscles so that it's shaped in the way that you want it to be shaped for your bikini bottoms come summertime, because we're all going to be rocking bikinis. So you're working different muscles, you're working different muscle groups, you're challenging them for a longer extent of time. You're going to feel fatigued. Your muscles are going to be tired, and they're going to need those resources to replenish. So if you're sitting here thinking, okay, I didn't get them just when I bought my initial package, do I really need them? Try it for a week. Try week 1. See how you feel. If you feel so sore that you can't do the next day's workout, then think maybe lessening your weights. Number 1, you can adjust obviously with the bands and the weights, but start considering if maybe trying 1 month might be beneficial to you. The other thing about the Recover is that it's chocolate. So I get to have chocolate once for my Shakeology, and I get to have chocolate again because it's my Recover. It's like 2 desserts in one day, guys, and they're approved. So that's kind of my rationale about it. But the other thing I wanted to just briefly talk about is the Energize. For those of you who don't know what it is a pre-workout. Rose, were you going to talk about this? You want me to? Okay. It's a pre-workout supplement. So you see them all over the place. And how do you make, the Recover, you just shake it with water. You can blend it, I think, but you shake it with water. Also to note, don't add your Recover to your Shakeology. Don't try and combine all of them. So Recovery is actually like a freebie with this program. It doesn't count as a red container, even though it is a high source of protein. So if you're taking Recover, it doesn't take up one space of your red container, but you just shake it with water. It does taste like Yoo-hoo. It's delicious for those Yoo-hoo lovers. I just put it in a shaker cup and shake it. So you can blend it with ice if you want to. There's different ways you can make it, but do not combine it with other supplements, because if you're combining it with Shakeology and the amount of Shakeology protein and the amount of Recover protein, it's too much for your body to actually utilize. So it just goes wasted. So that's why they have them separated, and why it's not counted as a red. The orange supposedly tastes like a creamsicle. Remember those? They were pretty good, but I'm too much of a chocolate lover and a chocoholic to even give it the thought of day. So I stick to chocolate. But if you like creamsicles, if you're more of that kind of flavor, give it a whirl. So that's the Recover. But back to the Energize. The Energize is like what you take 20 to 30 minutes beforehand. It's all plant-based, natural ingredients. There is a little bit of caffeine, I believe, from green tea extract. Yes, Rose? Something like that? Yeah. But it's just to give you that little extra zing and focused energy. What you will be feeling are some tingling effects sometimes. Totally normal. If you are feeling them, it's nothing to really be concerned about, because it's from, Rose, where's that thing? Do you have that PowerPoint that I sent you?
I do, yeah.
It's from that word I can't pronounce, but
the what makes it yellow?
Yeah. I know, I'm forgetting it. If you look at the ingredients, there's a word in there that you won't be able to pronounce, and that's the reason why you tingle. Problem solved. So look at the ingredients. So what it does, it just helps give you focused energy, kind of like that extra boost that you need. Unlike other supplements that are pre-workout supplements, it's not filled with chemicals. And it's, oh, there it is. Where is it?
Oh, Quercetin.
Quercetin, yeah. Quercetin. Quercetin? Who can figure out this word? You get a prize. Quercetin. There you go. And beta-alanine. Beta-alanine, which creates a mild tingling or itching sensation for the skin. Here's one thing I can recommend. If it's your first time using it, start off with half a scoop and see how your body responds to it. I did that for a little while, and I'm up to a full scoop now. Some people, like my husband, takes 2 scoops because of his weight. It actually says he can do that, and he really enjoys it as an afternoon pick-me-up at work sometimes, not even just for a workout. So that's what this is. So this is what the Energize looks like. You just, again, a little scoop into water, improves energy, performance, and sharpens focus, reaction time, just gives you that extra little zip and zing before. I would say if you're considering adding in the performance line, these are the 2 that I would highly suggest. Now, there are some others for the performance line if you're starting to consider what it is that will help you get through this program. Thank you, Rose. Just like my Vanna White here, she brought it up for me. This is the Recharge. So this is a supplement that you can take in the evening before bed, and it tastes like cake batter, and it's delicious. But again, it's just helping support the overnight muscle recovery, helping prevent any additional soreness, the muscle breakdown, promoting lean muscle synthesis, and adapting to the exercise routine. So for those of you who have a super sweet tooth at night, this is your answer. You don't have to count it in your containers. It'll help kind of take the edge off. I will say these, for those people who are dairy-free, the Recover and the Recharge, they contain certain things that they're not dairy-free elements. So the Recover has whey protein in it, and the Recharge, I believe, has like the casein in it. So if you are lactose intolerant, be aware of that. But if you have questions about the ingredients, if you have questions about whether or not it would be beneficial for you, then reach out to your coach, reach out to whoever it is that placed you in this group, who has helped guiding you through this, because while we're giving this information, some of these things may not be suited for you, especially if you have a food intolerance. So reach out to your coach, ask questions. The last one is the Hydrate, which is something that helps throughout your workout, and it's up a little bit higher. Recover, Hydrate. Okay, so it's just really to, there's that same word again, it's yellow, guys, but it's just something that's going to help you replenishing your electrolytes and your exercise performance throughout your workout. So instead of like really chugging your water while you're working out, you can mix it with Hydrate. Yes, it is also a great hangover tool. So is Shakeology. We've tested that out, and it has proven well. So it's a really quick wrap up of the performance line, but do know that professional athletes use these products because of what it has been proven to do. It was created by a Harvard scientist, right? Harvard-based scientist. I guess that's where they do their research studies. It also had, what's that certification? I know it's one of the
NFC.
Yeah. So for those people who know supplements and the rigor and research and the proof that has to be in the quality of the product to get that kind of a certification through that program, it's been through a lot of testing, a lot of resources, and it's been proven to be effective in what it's there for, in giving you that extra energy, in helping you with muscle recovery and fatigue, all of those things. So if you have questions, reach out. Oh, there you go. I don't see what the question, did I miss any questions now about that I should answer? Did I miss anything?
No, I think people were just commenting.
Okay. Who's
What
that?
I do want to throw in with the Energize, if you are doing a night workout, I would just be a little, see how you do falling asleep, because another thing that's big with this program that we haven't talked about yet is, and I know that we're getting it's already 9:00, is sleep, right? Like we have to make sure when you sleep, that's when you actually, your muscles recover the most from the workouts and everything, and utilizes the nutrition it's getting. But if you're hopped up on Energize, it might be a little bit hard for you to sleep. So if you're doing a nighttime workout, I would say anything after 5, use a quarter of it, see how it is, see if you're able to fall asleep or not, see if you're waking up during the night. Like for me, I think somebody else said sensitive to caffeine. If I have anything caffeine, it has to be before noon, or else I'll be up for 48 hours. I'm very weird like that. It's just my body. Jess, were you going to say anything else? Sorry.
No, I think I rambled quite enough. So everyone's sick of here. I talked a lot, guys. Sorry.
No, you did awesome. Thanks, Jess, for all your great information. All right, I'm going to wrap up really quickly because it's getting super late. The one thing I did want to go over really quickly is how to look at stuff on your phone, because I know in the other video I shared from the computer. So give me 1 second. I'm going to try and share my phone with you guys. Sweet. Okay, so if you're going to our group page called Let's Get Obsessed, you'll always see there's a view pin post. You guys see that view pin post? Jess, do you see me circling? Okay, so there's a lot of people in this group, right? We almost have 260 people. So there's gonna be a lot of people talking, chatting, whatever. But that's gonna be the post of the day from the leader. So if you want to get, the information for the day, just check that once daily, and you'll see the leader, so you're not where's the post for the day. Other thing that you can use is this search option here. So if you're I'm in plan A, give me plan A options, type in plan A. Or maybe you're feeling sore, right, in soreness. So you can use certain keywords to search the entire group, and you'll find previous posts that will pop up. Also, I'm going to be changing out the picture every week, whether we have a new leader of the week, and we're going to, oh no, it went away. We're going to have some fun prizes to keep you guys kind of engaged. That way you're coming in, because if you're trying to do this alone, it's going to be tough. Doing this together is going to be a lot easier. So just check that picture out. We'll have certain information. We'll probably do a webinar next week too as we actually get started. We might do this for a month. We'll kind of play it by ear and see what everybody wants to do. So how you can access those file section from your phone, just kind of move to the left with this bar thingamajiggle and click on files. Here you'll see where Lisa posted her thing. There's some recipes already in it, trackers. Jessica put meal plans. We'll put some personal development in there. So just go through and see what is for you. Like I said, there's a ton of information we gave you tonight, ton of information in the group. Grab what's for you, and then just don't worry about the rest so you don't get overwhelmed. Albums, I think you guys kind of got the whole gist of this. This is kind of where we're gonna be doing little contests of post your Shakeology in your album, and we'll go through and choose some people to get the prizes. But just this is for you personally too, to track your journey, to see how far you've come and all of that stuff. Because in 80 days, we're gonna be completely different. It's gonna be mind blowing. And I know it's so hard to see 80 days down the road, but when you keep this kind of virtual journal, it really when you get to day 80, you can see how far you've come. Tracy's also doing she's managing the Beachbody On Demand app. If you want to log your workout and your Shakeology through there, she made a video in the page. I'm not going to try and search for it now, but if you just scroll, I'm pretty sure it's right at the top, and you can just put your email in it. You can download the other app to just track. Yeah, I'm not gonna look through it now. But that way, it's just another way of you kind of keeping accountable for yourself. So, wrapping up here, I just wanted to say that there's you know, like I said, there's a lot of information, but you just have to take that imperfect action and just do something, right? Like if you miss a container, or if you like flub up and like don't do all the reps, or like you go out to eat and have a drink of wine not by accident, you get a drink of wine by accident, but you know what I mean? Like it doesn't always have to be all in or all out. Like this is 80 days. I don't expect myself to be perfect. I'm going to try, but I know it's not realistic. So don't set yourself up for failure by thinking you're going to do this perfectly. Try your best and forget the rest. You know, whether it's early mornings or that, just do your best with it. Have a little Shaco, a half of a scoop or a full scoop for your meal before your workout. If you got like a short time to get your meal, your pre-meal workout, whatever, meal in, just do the best you can, right? It doesn't have to be perfect whatsoever. I think that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. If you have any questions, we'll hang on for a little bit. But also, we as a team are trying to shoot for 300 people in this group because this program is going to be transformational. So if you have any friends that are seeing what you're going to be doing and you want to invite them in for the ride, have your coach talk to them, get them on, get as many people as you can involved in this. I know there's a lot of ladies that are doing this together with their friends at work. That's just a great way, because that like lunchtime during work can usually be where you fall off the wagon a little bit, because that peer pressure. So if you have all those peers kind of doing this with you, you're not going to have all those things. So if you have any friends that want to do this with you, hook them up with your coach. Let's get as many people in. Let's try and hit that 300 mark. And then also we have if you've ever thought about coaching, why all these incredible ladies are here, how we've managed to grow this incredible team, there's a webinar up at the top that you could join a group and watch the webinar if you want to get some more information on how to become a coach and maybe earn your Shakeology for free and maybe earn some income with this. So
Rose, I have one thing to add.
Yeah.
I'm back, everyone. I wanted to share an idea that I threw around to a couple of the other coaches, and I thought it would be really fun to create an album. So then I heard some of the other coaches had the same idea, and they gave it a name, which is way more creative probably than what I would have come up with. So we're going to label the album for photos called Obsessed to be Dressed. And it's going to be, everyone chooses one article of clothing that is in your closet, that is buried, that is up way, way high, that is tucked way back in a tub. Find that one piece of outfit, like one article of clothing, your wedding dress, whatever it is that you want to get back into. What you're going to do, you're going to take a picture aside from your before photos, and you're going to upload it. So for phase 1, for the first couple weeks. And then there's a couple different phases throughout, and we'll be updating our photos. So that way you have a consistent outfit in this dream outfit of whatever it is that you want to get back in. And we're going to take photos throughout to keep ourselves really gunning for that overall 80-day goal. So if you want to be a part of it, just find the album after we make it, and you're going to take your photo, upload it to there, and then we'll keep adding our photos as we continue throughout this journey. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Keep an eye out.
Love that idea, but totally scared of taking my picture in the bikini.
Oh, come on, Rose.
I'll do it.
Whatever it is. Yeah, it could be, like a dress that you used to wear. It can be, one of your favorite pair of jeans. It could be a bathing suit, whatever it's going to be. Bikini and wedding dress. Ooh, there you go. Let's do it, guys.
#goals. All right, if anyone has questions, you can unmute yourself. I swear to God, we do not bite. We're normal people just like you. And I know I sound like a 5-year-old, so nobody can sound as childish as me. So just click that microphone thing if you have any questions. Or if you want to add, if there's any other coaches on here that want to add, if we forgot something. Going once. Going twice. All right. Thank you, ladies. You are the ones that are showing up. So keep showing up. And I promise you, we are going to get freaking results. And I'm really excited to be doing this with everybody. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.